There's a rule that top startups are quietly hiring for that does the job of three people. And no, this is not some AI agent, it's a human, a product engineer. Well, it's product manager, designer, and software engineer in one. Instead of having three separate people doing handoffs and meetings, one product engineer owns the entire thing. They decide what to build, design how it works, and ship the code themselves or in a small team. And most people have never heard of this title, and that's exactly why you should pay attention to this industry trend. Because while everyone else is fighting over saturated software engineering roles, companies like Vercel and PostHog are paying big for engineers who can do both coding and product. So what exactly is a product engineer? Well, a product engineer sits at the intersection of software engineering and product management. Here's the key about their role. They write code as a primary job. Unlike traditional software engineers who implement specs handed down from product managers, product engineers originate the ideas themselves. And they might talk directly to customers and make the product decisions. And then they build and ship. James Hawkins, the CEO of PostHog, puts it this way. Engineers who own product decisions ship faster and better. So this role emerged out of necessity for startups, because small startup teams just cannot afford all the back and forth of separate product managers, designers, and engineers discussing with each other. They discovered that engineers with product sense could move faster than teams with all those separate roles. And here's the key difference. A traditional software engineer implements decisions from others and is just measured on code quality. A product manager might define what to build and is then measured on business metrics. But a product engineer, they make the product decisions independently and are then measured on real user outcomes. And not just whether the code is clean, but whether actually users use what has been built. Now, if you're coming from a product manager background, or you're just getting started here with your career, I will not sugarcoat this. Learning the technical skills to become such a product engineer can take many evenings and weekends of studying. This is not just something that you get done in a single weekend. If you want a clear path that doesn't waste your time on the wrong things, I put together a free AI engineering roadmap that breaks down exactly what to learn, and you can find it in the link in the description down below. But first, let me show you what the market for this product engineer role actually looks like. So let's talk about the job market. Now, LinkedIn shows over 57,000 product engineer listings. Levels FYI, the most trusted site for tech salaries, doesn't even track product engineer as a distinct category. The role is still concentrated mainly in startups and scale-ups, and not really big enterprises. But it could be good news for you, because you can be early to this trend. Now, I'll be honest, entry-level positions are scarce. About 75% of these tech positions require 3 or more years of already having experience. And Lead Dev notes there's no such thing as an entry-level product engineer, which makes sense because you need to have both experience with building products as well as owning product decisions. You build your way into this role through projects and demonstrated ability. So which companies do actually use this title and give you this opportunity? This will tell you where the industry is heading. Now, PostHog is a great example of this model. Their entire engineering organization consists of product engineers in small independent teams. Engineers do customer support rotations, write documentation themselves, and own their features end to end. They specifically hire a lot of former technical founders who crave ownership in this new role. Slowly but surely, this is going to be bleeding into larger organizations. Intercom, as an example, with 30,000 customers and 1,500 employees, does actually use product engineer titles. Now, there is one big notable absence. Companies like Google, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple don't really usually have a product engineer as a specific job title. Large organizations do often need specialization for complex systems and regulatory requirements. PostHog even explains this by saying that enterprise companies with sales-led growth are unlikely to be places for great product engineers. So if you're targeting the largest FAANG enterprises, this is not the path. But if you want to work at fast-growing startups or eventually start your own company, definitely keep watching. Because I'm going to now explain what separates product engineers from regular developers. Lee Robinson from Vercel explains that product engineers don't need to understand every part of engineering deeply. Instead, they have a broad understanding of tools and deep experience applying those tools to build products. So you don't have to be the world-class software engineer, you need to have customer empathy. The product skills and the customer obsession will top every list of real product engineers. Product engineers talk directly to users and not just through a product manager that's passing messages back and forth. There's plenty of job postings which have the explicit requirement that you enjoy speaking directly with customers. So if you've had some kind of customer facing role before, then this can be a huge benefit. Now, of course, in this day and age, AI is becoming a major differentiator in these kinds of roles. And product engineers, of course, also use AI coding tools with Cursor, GitHub Copilot, Claude Code being all part of the mix. And if you're coming from a product manager background, these AI coding tools actually make the technical learning curve way more manageable than it used to be. Now, you're not going to get away with just vibe coding everything, but it does give you an edge over someone with absolutely no product experience whatsoever. And there's a hybrid that's combining everything together, an AI product engineer, which is someone who has product engineering skills to apply them specifically to building AI native features. And companies like Ramp are already hiring such AI product engineers at all levels. PostHog, again, a great example, has explicit AI product engineer roles, building LLM-powered features into their analytics platform. So think about it. If you combine product sense, full stack skills, and the ability to integrate AI models, you will become incredibly valuable because you're not just building AI features that someone else designed, you're deciding which AI capabilities to build, talking to users about their AI needs, and then shipping a solution yourself. And that's the combo that makes you unfireable and future proof. So how will you break into this kind of role? Well, there's some good news there, because demonstrated ability will matter more than formal credentials. A 2025 Seattle Tech panel observed employers now prioritize skills and creativity over formal credentials for these kinds of roles in the longer term. The most common path is from software engineering, not product management, because often engineers who get frustrated with product decisions will develop product sense on their own, and once they get the opportunity to focus on it more as a product engineer, they'll be able to make a lot of progress very quickly. Now, if you want to actually understand a path that can work for you, here it is in a couple of steps. First, you want to build side projects that solve real problems, not just tutorial projects, and you want to ship them publicly where users can see and use your work. And then you can practice talking to users about their needs, which is a skill that most engineers never really develop because they're just stuck coding all day. And then you can learn product analytics. Using PostHog as an example, or something like Amplitude or Mixpanel, you can understand how users are using your features and measure whether something works. The best credential is a portfolio of shipped products with evidence of users. So if you're interested in becoming an AI native product engineer, check out that free engineering roadmap in the link in the description below, and I'll see you there.